It's fitting. I've started the women's ice hockey question, so I'm beat reporter. Volleyball question, I'm beat reporter
too. That is how they design it, yeah.
What creates offense?
Defense.
What creates defense?
Offense.
No, the goalie in the back of the net.
So you're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy because...
At least if you're going to pick a trap game, pick the right ones.
Little fast footwork. I know your feet don't move that fast.
Brittany, that's all flash, no cash. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a goal.
What are you doing pulling out Ryan?
Brittany.
Are you ready for some debate? This Bobcat Breakdown starts right now.
Welcome to another episode of Bobcat Breakdown. I'm your host, Logan Winslow, joined alongside Andrew Reynolds and Eric Sank. How are you guys feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great, Sank. You look good. I like the suit.
Thanks, man. You look great, too. Navy's my color, so.
I know. It looks good on you.
Thanks.
Well, starting us off, the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team will travel to face Clarkson for a 3-game series beginning Friday. Now, the Bobcats are 500 on the road this year and are winless in their last 3 games in Potsdam. So what does this team need to do to overcome their road struggles? Andrew, what do you think?
I think the biggest thing that Quinnipiac needs to do right now is work on their offense. I think the offense, right now, their defense is solid, right? They're one of the best defenses in the league, especially in goals against, second least goals against in ECAC play with 35 goals against. But the issue is with their offense. When you look at their offense, when they played number 12 Harvard, who is one of the games this past weekend as well as throughout the season, they played against a team who had 0 shutouts all year. The only team in the league that had in league play that had 0. They had a 3.34 goals against average, last in the league, a negative 2.118 score differential, which is, say with me, the worst in the ECAC. And they only had 1 win, which is the worst in the ECAC, right? So Quinnipiac kept it within 1 goal in each of those games, and really, they should have killed them. Every other team in the league absolutely killed Harvard whenever they played them, except obviously that game against Yale and Dartmouth a few times where, Dartmouth was able to force the win against Harvard. And the fact that Quinnipiac did not blow the waters out of Harvard in those games is an issue. And I think when you're going to play against a team like Clarkson, who is one of the best teams in the nation, especially coming off a Frozen Four appearance last year, that's an issue. You got to work on that offense, and I think that making Clarkson also uncomfortable in their home, and they're 1-4-1 in 2025 at Shield Arena. Their only win was against Quinnipiac, and they were 0-5 to start off 2025, and then in 2024 they were 5-0 in league play, and then 9-0 in non-conference as well, if you include non-conference games. And it's just the Quinnipiac they need to work on that offense going into the series this weekend.
Now, I agree with you, but I'm taking a little different way to get there. My main focal point this weekend for the Bobcats has got to be their defense, because I think it's too late in the year to just bank on the fact that their offense is just going to ramp up out of nowhere. They've been so strong defensively all season long, and that needs to keep up this weekend against Clarkson if they want any shot. They're 1-1 against Clarkson this year. They split the season series, but the one loss was at Clarkson, so they haven't shown yet that they can win up there. 6 of their 8 road wins this year were shutouts. 75% of their road wins this year, they didn't allow any goals. So they've really banked on their defense and goaltending to be able to, push them to the top. And I just don't think that at this juncture they should be starting to really bank on their offense ramping up, because I think it's too late into the season to consider that a reality. They're going to have to work with what they've got, and defense has been so strong for them. That's got to maintain at the top of the list. And also, out of 17 road games this year, just 5 of those games saw Quinnipiac score over 2 goals.
But why the defense, though? Because the defense has been good all year. Like, they've been playing well against these ranked teams. I mean, again, they beat Clarkson at home. There was a 1-0 game, and then they scored 2 empty net goals to win the game. Same as St. Lawrence. They were all pretty close games. The defense stayed strong. You also have Kaylee Doyle guarding the 6x4 of red pipes back there, right? The defense is fine. Right now, the Quinnipiac shot selection and offense is a huge issue that needs to be addressed, especially if you're going to try to make a run to the NCAA tournament, which right now, they're on the bubble.
I absolutely see your point. My only point is that at this point in the season, it's too late to start, trying to bank on change. If it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Well, looking at this series overall, who do you think is the biggest X factor in this matchup? Eric, who'd you pick?
Well, going off my theme of defense and goaltending, who's your most important defenseman? The goaltender, right? Kaylee Doyle is who I'm viewing as an X factor for this weekend's series against Clarkson. My feeling is that as a skater, you can have a bad game, you can be a -3 on the ice, but the rest of your team can pick up your slack for you. You can be a -3, but your team can score 4 goals, and it's going to go unnoticed. But as a goalie, if you have a bad start and you surrender a high number of goals, there's only so much that the team can really do to bail you out. More often than not, the outcome of the game ultimately rides on how the last line of defense, otherwise known as goalies, plays on any given night. And Kaylee Doyle specifically, she's responsible for 8 out of the Bobcats' 11 shutouts this year. That's phenomenal, including last weekend's playoff matchup versus Harvard. And the team this year is winless when she allows 2 or more goals. They're 0-7-1 in games where she allows more than 1 goal. That's not very good, and that's what we touched on after the first question, but I think that's why Kaylee Doyle, it's going to depend, this series is going to depend on how she plays.
I'm actually going the opposite of you. I'm going to say Clarkson's goaltending, because right now Clarkson does not have a firm goaltender. They have 2 goaltenders back there right now, and combining the two, in comparison to last year in 2023-24, they had Michelle Pesechnik, who was the goaltender of the year in the national standpoint, as well as the ECAC. And right now, as a result of that, last year, if you look at last year, right? First in the conference, the goals against average 1.17. Last year, save percentage number 1 in the conference, 9.45 in the conference, right? Shutouts per game, 8 shutouts total, first in the conference. This year, however, 3rd in the conference in goals against, I totally screwed up my stats there for a second. 6th in the stats for goals against average, 11th in the conference in save percentage. Shutouts per game, they're 3rd in the conference. This has not been a great goaltending year for the Golden Knights. And I think that right now they need to shift that, or really, it's dependent on how good the Clarkson goaltending will be. Well, that will decide this series. And like I said, what Quinnipiac needs to do going into this series is their offense. And if Quinnipiac's offense can ramp up, Kalen Lamar stepping up, Kendall Cooper sniping it from the point, Bryn Pryor, the rookie of the week a few weeks ago, who got a hat trick in like less than 2 minutes. Those are the people who are going to contribute to Quinnipiac's success this weekend. And if they're able to really make Julia Minotti and Holly Gruber uncomfortable, that will be why Quinnipiac takes the win this weekend.
Oh, I absolutely agree that if the Quinnipiac offense can ramp up, then it's going to be trouble for Clarkson, because their defense, you can pretty much count on them being strong night in, night out. And if their offense can come in at the same strength as their defense, it's going to be trouble for the Golden Knights.
Both great points, guys, but I think Kaylee Doyle is going to be a huge player in this series. She's been outstanding all season for the Bobcats, and I think she's just going to play a huge role.
No doubt.
But, well, it's time for our first commercial break of the night. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Andrew and Eric will give their ECAC women's hockey playoff prediction.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. Now it's time to take a look at the ECAC women's hockey playoff bracket. First, number 1 Cornell will be taking on number 9 Union. Number 4 Clarkson will face number 5 Quinnipiac. Number 2 Colgate will match up against number 7 Princeton. And number 3 St. Lawrence will host number 6 Yale. So now that we've seen the quarterfinal matchups, let's predict Let's see who you two predict to win it all. Andrew, who do you got taking it home?
Yeah, so I'm going to start off in that top left corner. So I think that for the Cornell Union game, Cornell's going to win the series 2-1. The reason why I think Union will take a game in here is because Union beat Cornell. They were one of 2 teams to beat Cornell this year. Colgate beat them in January. Union beat them in the first game in ECAC play. And I think that will be the reason why Union will come into Lina Rink and take a game. But I don't think they're going to win that series, as you guys can see on the screen. I have Cornell winning the entire tournament. I think they're going to break Colgate's streak of consecutive wins. They've won 3 straight ECAC titles. And I think they're going to end that streak. Going on to the next game, I think Quinnipiac will also win the series out in Potsdam. I think that, again, we talked about it. If Quinnipiac's defense, or offense rather, can show up and the Clarkson goaltending is still iffy, as we've seen really all season, Quinnipiac will take that. And I also think for the rest of them, St. Lawrence 2-0 against Yale. St. Lawrence's offense is just insane. Abby Hustler, Anna Seghetti, just 2 incredible goals, many goal scorers on that St. Lawrence team. And then Princeton, Colgate, they split the series this year. Colgate ended up losing in overtime to Princeton at Hobie Baker in New Jersey. And then Colgate blew the doors off of Princeton at the Class of 69 Arena in Hamilton. But I also think that it's an interesting game for Princeton because their goaltending and their defense is not their strong suit, but their offense is. So I could see Princeton maybe pulling a game, but Colgate is too good with Christina Colton-Kova on their team, Alyssa Biederman, and then Hannah Murphy in the backstop right there. One of the best goaltenders in the nation. But I think it will be a Colgate-Cornell. You get a little bit of a travel partner battle there in that ECAC final. But I think that Cornell will pull it off at Lina Rink this year.
Is it my turn now? All right. So I'm going to start off with a bombshell. I wanted to have one upset in here, and you may not disagree, or you may not agree with me, and that look, you already don't.
Are you serious?
Okay. I'm going to say the number 9 Union
that's insane.
Takes number 1 Cornell in 3. So it's going to game 3.
All right, 3 games is respectable.
See, it's respectable.
It's respectable.
Here's my reasoning. They split the season series. Union beat them at Cornell this year, so they've already shown they can beat them on the road. And Cornell's win this season was just by 1 goal. So Union they won the 1 game, and they were very much in the other game. And I wanted to have at least one upset in here, and I thought, you know what? I know it's going to make you angry, and I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's have Union taking Cornell.
Could you have at least taken the Princeton Colgate? I think that would have been the better upset.
See, that would have made more sense because I'm from New Jersey, so why wouldn't I take Princeton? But no,
Eric,
no, because I know you'd be okay with that.
Eric, as much as I love you, and how you want to be different, there's no way that Cornell will lose to Union. Cornell has not had that great of a season since pre-COVID. That year before they got canceled by COVID, they were pretty much I think they were going to win the national championship that year. They were that good, and they have not been that good since. And this year will be the year that they will make a push to the Frozen Four. Right now, they're 3rd in the pairwise, 3rd in the USCHO poll. I think if you have a Union team who won their first playoff game this past weekend in Providence, I don't think there's any way. I think that right now, Union has reached its ceiling, winning their first playoff game. They also had their best record in the ECAC, or in their program history, in their over 25 years. I don't think there's any way that a Cornell team, an Ivy League school that has a really great program that they've been building over the year with Doug Duras, what he's been doing behind the bench for how many years, over a decade at this point, there's no way that Cornell will blow it at Lina Rink to a team like Union.
We shall see. Either way, moving on. Number 2, Colgate. I have them taking down number 7, Princeton in 2. I just don't see Princeton getting around Colgate in that one. And if they do, then that's really going to blow up the rest of my bracket. But I also have number 3, St. Lawrence, taking down number 6, Yale. The season series was 2-0 St. Lawrence. They have home ice advantage. I don't see Yale taking them down. That's something that it's going to make my grandmother pretty happy too. She's a graduate of St. Lawrence, class of 19-something. And number 5, Quinnipiac. Listen, we're on Bobcat Breakdown. Why not? They're going to take down number 4, Clarkson in 3 games. I think it's going to go to 3.
Yeah, I agree.
The
3
season
games.
series split one aside, and I think Doyle's going to have a solid weekend. And I think Quinnipiac's going to take advantage of Clarkson's bye week. I think sometimes teams can come out of their bye week a little sluggish. Quinnipiac's been rolling week after week after week. I think they're going to take advantage of that. Moving on to the semis, I have a Colgate taking down Union. I think the magical run's going to end there. So you're welcome, right?
There's no way that Colgate will be hosting that tournament this year again.
You don't know that. And then St. Lawrence, and I hate to do it on a show again called Bobcat Breakdown, but I think St. Lawrence is going to take down the Bobcats. Listen, if I thought Quinnipiac was going to win, or if I said I think they're going to win, that would be a lie, and I don't like to lie. So, I'm not going to do that. And in the championship game, I have Colgate taking down St. Lawrence in the finals.
I kind of like that. I like that the Quinnipiac-St. Lawrence matchup there. I don't hate it because I actually think Quinnipiac could probably take that, especially
I did it for you. You're welcome.
At a neutral site, though, because it will be St. Lawrence. There's no way they're going to host it. They're a 3 seed. They probably will not host it, right? You also have Clarkson and Colgate, the top 2 teams, who will be one of the host teams if for some reason, if Cornell loses to Union, which I think is outrageous. I think it's still outrageous. But either way, I think if Quinnipiac does see St. Lawrence in a neutral site, Quinnipiac probably could take that game. I think also St. Lawrence is kind of on the downturn right now. They've had a rough patch where they lost to Dartmouth in regulation a few weeks ago. I think St. Lawrence, they're on that downturn right now, and I think they'll be able to pull it off against Yale. But I don't. Again, as you and I both agree, you think they're going to go to the finals? That's insane. All right, never mind. I don't agree with you.
That's okay. This isn't for us to agree. This is a debate for a reason, right? Yeah. And you know what? I got Union going to the semis, and I can't wait to see them there.
I can't wait for you to be wrong.
Well, that's fair. Both of you guys with great picks. You with Cornell and you with Colgate. Now, you were talking about family ties with St. Lawrence. My aunt went to Colgate. Unfortunately, I didn't get in. I applied, I didn't get in, but
hey, my uncle went to Clarkson. I've always wanted to go there. I was looking forward if they made it to the thing.
I've been to a Colgate game and they're great, so I got Colgate winning as well. But after seeing both of these brackets, I think I'm going to agree with Eric and Colgate, honestly. But
Union.
You think Union?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Honestly,
All
but
right.
Unfortunately, it's time for another break. When we come back, we'll be talking about men's ice hockey's quest for the Whitelaw Cup and Jackie Grisdale's role on the women's basketball team. Stay with us. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. If you're just joining us, I'm Logan Winslow, joined alongside Andrew Reynolds and Eric Zank. Saturday was senior day for both women's basketball and men's ice hockey. QBSN takes a look back at the celebration.
As I mentioned before, senior day kicking off today. Senior day for the women's basketball team. Today honored were graduate student Karanda Perea, as well as center Khadija Tungo, and forward Grace Labarge, that players like Labarge and Perea have on this Quinnipiac team.
Yeah, Perea transferring in this year as a grad student. She's really stepped up and become, a big man on the court, helping out players like Anna Foley, step up when Anna Foley needs to take a break or she's in foul trouble, which we've seen. Karanda Perea's been able to step up and really be an offensive presence for this team, being able to drive to the basket and really help defensively.
Revive, guarded by Mule, picks up her dribble, finds Labarge, wide open. Jump shot, gets it to go. Grace Labarge on her birthday nonetheless too. Gets the shot to fall as Quinnipiac extends their lead 51-32. But that'll do it for us here in M&T Bank Arena as the Quinnipiac Bobcats defeat the Manhattan Jaspers 60-40. Well, 133 days, 16 regular season games, countless highs and lows alike. And here it is, the final home game of the season for the Quinnipiac Bobcats, and some of their seniors may be playing their last regular season games in Quinnipiac uniforms here. Marcellus, the Borgula, enters the zone. He loses his edge. Pelosi across. Rickett scores! The Bobcats jump on top 1-0, 10 minutes in. Schwartz up to Wilmer. 3-on-1. Wilmer with Serbone and Treelor. Across to Serbone. Won't go. Treelor backhand scores! The Bobcats captain celebrates with the fans. It's a 2-goal game. A chance for Noah Altman to get one last standing ovation in Hamden in the regular season.
Well, speaking of the men's ice hockey team, senior goaltender Noah Altman spoke on the team's mentality with the conference playoffs coming up. Let's take a listen.
There's no reason to chat about it. We're an entirely new team. We're just going to focus one shift at a time, one day at a time, and when we do go up there, our season relies on those games, and we're going to give it everything we have.
Well, now that we've heard what Altman has to say, do you guys think that the Bobcats will win the Whitelaw Cup for only the second time in program history? Andrew, start with you.
I'm going to say no. I think that the biggest thing is right now, I think that if we're being honest, the final would probably be Quinnipiac-Clarkson. And when you look at the distance between the two schools, Clarkson is 90 minutes from Placid, right? Quinnipiac, from here to Placid, it's like 4.5 hours, right? The distance is going to be is nuts. You're going to have a lot of Clarkson fans there. It'll be a Clarkson home game for that series. I also think, again, you have to keep in mind, Quinnipiac has not won since 2016. But I also think it's their most winnable year to win it, though. However, again, with history, I don't think they'll win it. But when you also look at it, if they play Clarkson, there's no way they win that game. Again, you have to keep in mind the home advantage, kind of 90 minutes away. But you have Ayrton Martino, who's one of the best players in the ECAC right now. He has 19 goals, leads the league. He has nearly a goal per game because we're 20 games into the league play. He also has 33 points, 1.65 points per game, which also leads the league. And I think that if you have him, at the front of that offense, being an enforcer for the Golden Knights, I think they'll pull it off here. But I also think that you look at Ethan Langenader, one of the best goaltenders in the league as well.
Sure. I mean, you can be negative all you want. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say they're going to take it this year. They're due, right? They've made it the last 4 years. They haven't won in any of those years. But the difference this year, in my opinion, is a shift in the locker room. Just 4 players on the 2023 roster remain on this current one. This year's Bobcats also have 15 new players just from last year to this season. Quinnipiac, they may have had some bad luck. I'll acknowledge that, in Lake Placid over the last 4 years. But with so many new faces and the amount of players who would be going to Placid for the first time ever, I think this is the year that the Bobcats finally tack on another Whitelaw Cup to keep the 2016 trophy company. To add on to that, their second half this year has been outstanding. They're 12-3-1 since January 1st. Going into the tournament hot, in my opinion, is going to be beneficial.
I don't know. I mean, again, I think that if you look at, here's my thing, is I gave you an alternate option right here to who's going to win the Whitelaw Cup. I think it'll be Clarkson at the end of the day. You keep in mind, again, the home advantage, but also I kind of like some of the points you said, but it just doesn't make sense to say that, I think experience matters, especially in Lake Placid. So I think that's why they won't win it.
Experience for sure matters, but I also think there's some bad energy with the previous teams, and with a bunch of those players now off the team, that kind of energy's gone, and it's a fresh team.
I think you guys both made great points. I mean, I think I got to agree with you. It is a very winnable year, especially with them needing to win in order to make the NCAA tournament. But let's do a quick shift here. Heading over to the hardwood, senior guard Jackie Grisdale shot 4 for 15 from the field on Saturday, and 14 of those were 3-point attempts. Despite the poor shooting day, Coach Trisha Fabry and Grisdale's teammates said they have trust in her shooting ability. So the question is, do you guys think she should be taking that many shots in each game? Eric?
Now, see, I was looking forward to this question. As a former basketball player, and I know you're going to think
really?
high
You played
school.
Basketball?
You're going to think high school, right? Middle school, maybe travel. No, even better. Saturday rec league, the local rec league, okay, averaged about 4 points a year. Not a big deal. So speaking as a former athlete, right?
So you're going to get to your point. You've talked about how you played basketball.
I'm
for
saying,
20
speaking
seconds.
from a former athlete's perspective, not a big deal, right? Her field goal percentage is 40, albeit only good for 8th on the team, but she's 38% from the three-point line, which leads the team. She also, in my opinion, complements Gal Revive very nicely along the perimeter, who, by the way, she leads the team in field goal attempts. And I would concede that it would be smart for her to share the love a little bit with the likes of Anna Foley, or some other players on the team, but I don't think someone who leads her team in three-point percentage should be asked to shoot less.
I agree. I mean, she's one of the best players on the team. I think last season she was the 6th leading goal scorer as well. Played less than half of the season, which is pretty insane to be one of the leading goals shooters on the team. Senior captain, you got to let her shoot as well. Everybody on the team wants her to shoot. She's one of the best players on the team besides freshman Gal Raviv.
Well, we have to take one last break, but when we come back, we will be giving our final roars, so do not go anywhere.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. Now it's time for our final roars. I'll start us off. This past week, the Quinnipiac men's basketball team clinched a spot in the MAC tournament in Atlantic City. Last season, the Bobcats fell short of their first conference title despite being the top seed. This year, Quinnipiac is yet again fighting for the top spot in the MAC, but the team has its sights set on more. The Bobcats have the opportunity to reach March Madness for the first time in program history. Now, we've seen what that kind of spotlight can do for a MAC team, with St. Peter's taking the world by storm in 2022, becoming the first 15 seed to reach the Elite Eight in NCAA tournament history. It also helps put a spotlight on the players, and potential MAC Player of the Year Amari Monroe, who is having a career season, is someone who could benefit. A standout performance from Monroe or his teammates would give them a platform unlike any other. Just one win on the big stage can take this program and its players to new heights. Now the big dance is all about Cinderellas, and before the clock strikes midnight, the Bobcats are hoping the slipper fits.
It's no secret that the men's hockey team has struggled mightily in Lake Placid the last 4 years. The team, just as much as the fans, are well aware of it. But with the ECAC playoffs looming close, it's time to call on the team's leaders, the veterans, the one who have been through the tournament in Placid and have gone home to see an empty shelf in the trophy case. Now, much of this year's roster has yet to make their maiden voyage to the Adirondacks, and many just have the experience of going last year. No one on the team has been here for all 4 consecutive defeats, which also means that no one should carry that on their shoulders. If the Bobcats want to exercise their Lake Placid demons, they're going to have to count on their leadership group to make sure the team's attitude is right and that they're playing for right now. It's up to guys like Davis Pennington, Travis Treelor, and someone such as Victor Chinesky in there, who's gone through this twice now, to make sure the team is not thinking about last year or the year before that. That's all over. Playing in the past just to prevent 5 straight years of defeat isn't going to get them anywhere. All they can do now is play for what's directly ahead of them, and that's a shot for a guaranteed ticket to the NCAA tournament.
A week from today, I'll be preparing to go to the Women's ECAC Championships, and according to my bracket earlier in the show, Ithaca, New York at Cornell University. This will be my 3rd straight year going to this tournament, 1 as a beat reporter and 2 working for the league. Over the past 2 years, I've been working with ECAC Hockey on the digital media team and have had opportunities I never thought possible. I've been able to work with prominent hockey names like Pierre Maguire, and having the opportunity to be on ESPN Plus as a sideline reporter, and had a chance to watch the best teams in the world compete at a very high level. None of this and much more would have been possible, however, without the incredible opportunities and mentors I've seized within Q30 as a beat reporter and a producer. Getting the opportunity to cover the women's ice hockey team in my freshman year and cover a game at Fenway Park And the other notable opportunities I will never forget. For everyone that wants to be involved in media or really anything, when you put yourself in a position to succeed, you will succeed. Whether that be working on the content of your resume or building those connections, everything that comes in your direction is because of hard work that you put in. That is why they say what you put into life is what you get out of it.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have here for tonight on Bobcat Breakdown. Thanks for tuning in and spending your evening with us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and X at Q30 Sports and check out our website at Q30TV.com. Thank you to the producers and everyone working hard behind the scenes. For Andrew Reynolds and Eric Zank, I'm Logan Winslow. Have a great night.